The Denver Broncos improved to 4-3 on the year, knocking off the Saints 33-10 in what was an absolute ass-kicking of a game from start to finish. This is the win that fans love because on a Thursday night, it sets you up for a nice free weekend. If your girl really wants to go apple picking, now you can tell her, hey, Sunday, I don't mind missing the Broncos game. Don't let her know they play on Thursday, though. But this was a fun win on offense, defense, and special teams. Javonte Williams gets 2 touchdowns. First time in his NFL career. Cody Barton looked like he was wearing number 49. He looked like Alex Singleton with all the plays he was making, forcing a fumble, returning a fumble for a touchdown. Yeah, that was a fumble technically, which is really weird, but whatever. And then you got Will Lutz in the field goal unit, converting every single time, really putting this game out of reach in the first half. So, all around, a great team win. It's the NFL. They're never going to come easy, especially on the road, especially on a short week. But in my eyes, the Broncos won this game 33-3, a garbage time touchdown from New Orleans at the end. And if we were a Saints channel, we would be talking about firing Dennis Allen. Sean Payton, I didn't think about it until right now, and his homecoming might have gotten his replacement fired. That's how bad they beat the Saints. Bo Nix. Did the Broncos need him to be great tonight? No. They had Javonte going, they had this defense on fire, and they were playing Spencer Rattler and a Saints team that was missing about 50-60% of their starters. I feel bad for the Saints for how banged up they were, but this is the NFL. Injuries happen. Next man up. So, did Nix have to be great? No, he didn't have to be. He could have a mid-game, and Denver could still win by 23 points. Is that going to work every single week? No, and we've seen that in all 3 of their losses pretty much. So, for Nix, there is plenty to clean up. I am a little bit concerned about some of the meat left on the bone, so to speak, in the first half. Just some inaccurate throws. I think the footwork really needs to be worked on. So the coaching staff has plenty to do, but they've got a mini bye coming up, so that's perfectly fine. I'm not stressed about this. I am a little bit concerned about the inaccuracy, but a win's a win. Let's not fester on it. Let's celebrate this. Now, Williams had his best game of the season by a country mile. 14 carries for 88 yards. He averaged over 6 yards a pop. 2 touchdowns, a career best in a single game for him. He looked patient. He looked explosive. And best of all, he looked tough to take down after the first line of defense. I mean, that's what you got when you took Javonte from UNC. Someone that was going to break arm tackles. That was missing for the first couple of weeks of the season. Then it kind of came and went for a stretch. Hopefully now it is here to stay. You get Mike McGlinchey back at right tackle. Try to get some health and continuity going here. But it was awesome to see Williams really look like that second-round pick that we have been chasing and searching for since 2021. The receivers didn't have a tremendously great day because the passing game just didn't really have to be that way. But Troy Franklin, as a rookie, is really starting to come into form. He was somewhat in the doghouse to open up the year, healthy scratch, didn't get a lot of looks. Then when he does get on the field, unfortunately, a dropped touchdown pass. But hey, his best game, I'd say, 5 grabs for 50 yards, really showing some consistency. I know New Orleans was banged up. I understand that people are going to be quick to point at that. But I'm looking at a Denver defense that didn't have Patrick Surtain, the only first-round draft pick on that defense. And they still shut down a bunch of professionals on the other side for 3 points, essentially. I mean, the Saints had 271 yards of total offense. Reed, how many rushing yards did the Broncos have? Can we look at that here? No, how many rushing yards did the Broncos have? Denver had 225 rushing yards. Up until that last garbage drive by the Saints at the end of the game, Denver had more rushing yards than the entirety of the Saints' offense had. This was a masterclass from Sean Payton, which I was a little concerned about. Homecoming, could the crowd kind of affect this game so much early on that they may not recover from it on a short week? No, Sean Payton came with the game plan. We're going to run the football, and we're going to play physical defense from start to finish. You are seeing a Vance Joseph unit that goes all gas, no brakes, all 4 quarters. I mean, go back to what our keys to victory were in the preview video I did. Quick start, check. Rattle Spencer Rattler, double check. Dialed in Sean Payton? Did anyone, if an alien was watching this game, they would not have thought Sean Payton coached that Saints team for 15 years, right? We didn't see that kind of letdown moment, which we often get when quarterbacks return to former teams or head coaches return. So check, double check, and triple check for our 3 keys to victory for this game. We're going to talk about the defense more in a moment here, but a quick shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and then watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Download the app today and use that code. I put all the information in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. Run your game. So let's talk a little bit about Denver's defense because they completely stuffed the Saints offense, which they didn't have Derek Carr, no Chris Olave, no Rashid Shaheed. They're missing starters on the offensive line. There is a lot of fair things to be said about the Saints being extremely shorthanded. But both teams are playing on a short week. One team traveled a couple hundred miles, and it didn't look like it was the Denver Broncos who were coming on the road. This was a Broncos defense that dominated at the line of scrimmage. Alvin Kamara was there. He never made a single impact play. Give credit to Denver's defense. Vance Joseph and company continue to kick ass and take names. There was just nothing for Spencer Rattler and company. 2 takeaways. Cody Barton filling in beautifully for Alex Singleton. I was just distraught when Singleton went down, right? That was the middle and the heart and soul of that defense outside of PS2. And it doesn't look like Cody Barton is going to let this thing fall far from the tree. So, Rattler, Kendre Miller, best rusher, 6 carries for 36 yards. Alvin Kamara not even cracking the top 2, top 3 rushers for New Orleans. This was another Vance Joseph masterclass. Ced Wilson, 6 grabs, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. This was exactly what you needed to be. You were playing backups, and you made it look like you were playing backups. That's all you can ask for. You play the team in front of you. Denver did, and they took care of business. Now the Broncos enjoy a mini bye, and they'll come back and play the Carolina Panthers next weekend. And after that, they've got the Baltimore Ravens. So hopefully they don't let this win and the mini bye give them some complacency, and they come out ready to roll because we know this is the NFL any given Sunday. But we're sitting here at 4-3. Pick up a win next week against Carolina. You go to 5-3. And sure, the Ravens are not going to be an easy test, especially on the road, but the Raiders went to Baltimore and won. We know who's better between the Broncos and the Raiders. No reason why the Denver Broncos can't have a chance in that game here. So, 33-10 the final. I do want to know from everyone watching before we let you get on with the rest of your Thursday night, who was the biggest winner in this game? I'm going to go with Cody Barton. He has stepped up to the plate with no Singleton, being a part of 2 takeaways, a fumble recovery, which is the weirdest fumble recovery you'll ever see for a touchdown because the ball never hit the ground, and a forced fumble recovered by Quan Alexander. For me, I'll go with Cody Barton. Let me know who you think the biggest winner was down below. And hit that sub button as well. Keep the good times rolling. Trying to get to our next milestone of 27,000 subscribers. If we get more subscribers, we can do more watch parties. We had an awesome watch party for this Thursday night matchup. Would love to do a watch party next weekend, but we got to keep the subs coming. So make sure to join the best Broncos YouTube community out there.